I used to think that people who achieved extraordinary things must be superhuman. But I've learned that it's the hard work and determination that makes people who achieve their dreams extraordinary. That's what makes them Reachers. I'm Kate Breach, ex-military officer and fighter jet engineer, and now aspiring writer and storyteller. Now I'm reaching for new goals. I need some inspiration, so I'm seeking out the stories behind 2 generations of New Zealand's Reachers, chasing their dreams in the same vocation. To help me track down our Reachers and to provide a bit of millennial translation.
So Ben, I'm going to ask the straight up blunt question that people our age would ask.
I've enlisted the help of some extraordinary young Kiwis who know what it's like to beat the odds, like New Zealand Winter Olympian Beau-James Wells.
When you're at the top, you've got to have that confidence in yourself, in your ability that you're going to be able to do these tricks.
Together, we take a road trip over one day to some of New Zealand's most spectacular locations to make connections between 2 generations of Reachers.
Have you got a sore back yet?
Exactly, yeah, doing jobs like this, but look, I'm young, I should be able to do it. That's what everyone's telling me and pushing me.
Get the job done now.
So I'm like twice your age.
Yeah, 42.
Slower. No, I'm 45.
Gen Xers taking dramatic risks with new careers.
You want to do what?
And the unstoppable enthusiasm driving millennials.
Dream job would definitely be, well, owning my own vineyard. And
As the 2 generations of Reachers learn from each other, their amazing stories will inspire us all to keep reaching for our dreams. Today, Beau-James is helping me bring together Reachers in the wine industry from Hawke's Bay and Hanmer Springs. Not a bad day for going and introducing some Reachers to each other, eh?
I'm looking forward to it. Oh, before you go, we're going to get a photo real quick. Ready? Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. So how's this for intergenerational trust? We've got millennial driving and the Gen X controlling the GoPro.
Yeah.
This is also wrong.
Look at that.
That is a view though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Insane. I've never been here before.
It is pretty spectacular. You've been in some mountains though.
Yeah, I know.
So, but usually not green. I'm thinking you don't see a lot of the green mountains.
Normally a bit more snow where I go.
More snow, yeah, a lot more snow.
I started skiing when I was around 2 years old, but I guess when I decided I wanted to do flips and stuff or jumps, probably would have been around 10 or 11. That was kind of the new cool thing to do.
And how old were you when you started doing it competitively?
I would have been about 12 or 13 years old in Aspen, Colorado. So it was my first major international competition. And I was pretty scared, versing some pretty big names out there, but it was a good way to measure myself against the rest at a young age.
What does that feel like when there's crowds around you and you're about to go?
It's pretty amazing. It's a bit of an art to be able to block out the crowd and the median and just concentrate on what you're actually doing. So when I'm at the top, I'm actually not necessarily thinking about too much other than what I'm about to do. It's a pretty crazy environment to be in, that's for sure. But as soon as I drop in, all of that goes away and I'm just in my zone doing what I love to do.
Hey, so thanks for coming to help me link up these Reachers in the wine industry.
Yeah, I've met this really cool millennial who's doing amazing things with wine up in Hawke's Bay. So Ben, what's the dream job?
well, owning my own vineyard, yeah, I can then experiment with what I want and what I like and try and learn new things.
Okay, so we've found some pretty cool Gen Xers down in Hanmer Springs who are starting their own vineyard. Would you like to go and check it out?
Yeah, sounds epic.
Sweet. Sweet. So you've got young millennial viticulturist all lined up?
Yeah, I'm meeting Ben right now. He's super eager to get on the vineyard with Sarah and Steve.
Excellent, because you know we've got an appointment.
Yeah, I remember the time.
And you guys are bringing breakfast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll sort it.
Right, excellent. All right, here's my ride now.
Kate.
Steve, good to see you again. Hey, should we get up and see this vineyard of yours? Awesome, let's go.
Ben, how are you? What's up, Jay? What's up?
G'day, mate.
You excited to get on the vineyard today?
Oh, definitely, man. It's stunning out there.
But first, we should go check out Hanmer Springs. We're on the lollipop. Woo! Oh, breaking the rules. So Ben, can you take me through the process of making wine? Because I have no idea.
The fruit grows on your vine, so they harvest it, and then, it comes into a press, so all you have is the juice, and then yeast to ferment the sugars, so then that fermentation creates the alcohol, and then bottle it, and then that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's go. I wonder if we should get Kate and them breakfast now.
Maybe, we probably should. We're a bit late.
They've been waiting a little while.
Hi,
Sarah, so good to see you.
Welcome.
Wow, this is amazing. It's a pretty nice spot here. You would have been thinking about this when you were younger, so 17?
17 was when I sat the exams at recruiting to join the Air Force.
Yeah? To join the Air Force as
As a pilot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I'd always wanted to do. So that's what I was dreaming about then. Vineyards and wine weren't really on the horizon.
But at 17 years old, you were accepted into wings training with the Royal New Zealand Air Force.
Yeah, must have been a bad year for them.
So Steve must have been planting vineyards then.
What did I decide? No, I finished school not knowing quite what I wanted to do. I knew that I was okay at like physical education. Maybe I was just going to be a PE teacher. And then I just saw a poster, an Air Force poster. I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go.
I thought I probably wouldn't be able to get into the Air Force because I think you have an idea of what an Air Force pilot is, and it's somebody like an astronaut or that's well above where you could see yourself. And so I went to recruiting thinking, well, if I don't get in, I'll go to university.
So how old would you have been when were you sort of trusted with this enormous helicopter?
Straight away, pretty much.
Yeah, so I just turned 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, captaining a helicopter.
And I remember the funny thing was when I was flying the Air Mackie jet around the country at 250 feet at 300 miles an hour at 18. And then when I went over to the States on simulator training with the Iroquois, and I couldn't hire a car because I was too young.
So what was the trigger for the vineyard? So
Probably that trip we were planning to France, maybe.
No.
Drinking a lot of wine, I don't know.
Drank a lot of wine by that stage. Drank a lot of wine. I was the bar officer at a Hawke. I think that actually got me really interested in it because I had to go in there and when they had a terrible wine selection. And I thought, right, let's get in here and have a look at what's going on, and then going through the process of selecting wines and tasting wines and buying wines, and then that kind of got me interested in it.
And we went to how many wine festivals?
Yeah, a lot of wine.
2 or 3 a year.
where'd the vineyard go in that?
That was the catalyst for leaving the military because there was no way that we could save any money back then working for the government. So we said, how are we going to get this money together for the vineyard? And the best option was Middle East, flying helicopters in the Middle East. That was where you made the money.
I think we've got someone who can come and help you out in the vineyard. Beau-James is bringing up an amazing young viticulturist. He knows what he's doing. I reckon we should put him to work. Hey, there they are. What time was supposed to... Is this breakfast?
Who's
Yes,
hungry?
it is.
So, Steve and Sarah, this is Beau-James.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Helping me out with a bit of millennial
Hey.
translation.
Nice to meet you,
I think I've
mate.
seen some of your footage on YouTube in the half pipe.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Convenient.
Impressive.
And this is Ben Richards.
Hi.
So
Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you.
he's
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
very
You too.
informed viticulturist.
So I hear you've come to help us out in the vineyard, Ben.
Yep, I sure am, and I'm looking forward to it.
Shall we go and have a look at what we're doing?
Let's do it.
Awesome. And these you can keep.
So anything below the spurs, we don't want. You can pull the little grow guard down and snap everything off around the bottom. And then pull the guard back into place so the rabbits don't nibble on the trunk.
So, Young Viticulturist of the Year, what did that involve?
There was a bit of kind of everything really. Very, practical and theory based. So kind of putting all of our knowledge to test. From pest and disease and, analysis to chemicals to installing trellis, to wire work, to driving tractors.
You had to do it.
Yep, physically do it, dig holes, put the posts in, strain it all up.
A bit like Young Farmer of the Year, but in the vineyard.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's kind of showing me what I want to do and what I need to know more about. And I've learned a lot about myself from doing it as well.
So Ben, I'm going to ask the straight up blunt question that people our age would ask.
Yep.
Did you get into this sort of industry because you liked setting back a few wines or what?
Not really. I really kind of didn't really drink at school. I was more focused on sport and schoolwork really. It was definitely the working the outdoors, the sciences, the travel, and it kind of just put everything together, and that's why I kind of got into it and thought, why not? Let's have a go.
So how do you find your height in the vineyard, given everything's down on your hands and knees? Have you got a sore back yet?
Exactly, yeah. Doing jobs like this and bending over, pruning, leaf plucking, everything is very, very tiring.
See, finally being short pays off.
Exactly. But look, I'm young. I should be able to do it. That's what everyone's telling me and pushing me. Oh, nothing bad about you. Don't worry.
You can do that one.
Hey, so how much longer you got on your course?
4 weeks to go.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Have you got exams coming up?
I do. Yeah, I've got exams very, very soon. So pressure's on, but I'll get there. I'll get through, and then I'm done, and then back, out into the workforce really. So.
Hey, check out the shoes though.
What about them?
Well, this is the student versus the.
Yeah, you should say. So spend a bit of time in the classroom, obviously. Well, we'd saved a little bit of money over in the Middle East, and we hadn't saved anywhere near enough because we were living life and travelling and all that sort of thing. And so Steve had to keep working.
You were talking about being away. What do you actually do when you're away?
Basically fly helicopters month on, month off. So
at
the moment I'm flying over to PNG.
Yeah.
So shortly to head back there and do another month.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah's here looking after the kids in the vineyard, so quite a bit of work for her to do while I'm away.
So how did you know what you needed to do to set up the vineyard?
So I had been doing a course through EIT Hawke's Bay by correspondence while I was still in the Air Force flying helicopters.
Turned out to be quite a long course, didn't it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 2-year course. I think it took me at least 10 years to finish it. It took 5 years, I think, before something came up. And so we snapped it up pretty much straight away without really looking too much at the soil or any of those things that you really should do, because we just thought, well, there's nothing else available. The soil will be what it is.
We knew our lack of knowledge.
Yeah, we definitely knew what we didn't know.
And we knew we had to get expertise in, so that we started in the right fashion. And it was very funny, their initial responses of the phone call of, where? You want to do what?
In Hanmer Springs. So you can't grow grapes in Hanmer Springs.
So talking about disasters, the earthquake that happened here end of last year.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. We'd sort of been through the Christchurch earthquake because we happened to be here on holiday. So this one felt quite a bit worse, and the house actually survived quite well. We lost a lot of contents to damage, obviously, but no structural damage. But it was interesting in the vineyard because you see how we had all these tied up to the wire.
Yep.
When we came out after the vineyard, a whole lot of them had shook themselves off and were just sort of lying over. And then under the rows, you could actually see quite big cracks in the ground.
Exciting stuff happens when I'm away. Earthquakes, fires. I don't think I could do that. Like, Sarah's a special person in that respect. Not every wife could handle 2 kids plus that sort of thing going on. I've seen some of my colleagues while I've been away get phone calls, that the tap's leaking, and can they ring the plumber? It's like, and they're in Tanzania. It's like, whereas the first thing I hear is, you know, there was a leak in the roof and it's flooded and she's cleaned up and it's all tidied and done. And did I tell you that? Oh yeah, no you didn't. But
That's a lot of pressure.
Well, you know what it's like when you've been in situations where things, you know, in the military, for example, and flying, when things are going wrong and people could die. The stuff that goes wrong here is, it's kind of annoying or stressful at times because it's costing money or things are getting damaged or whatever, but nobody's dying. And that's what I always come back to. Has anybody died? No, well, who cares? Don't worry about it.
Hey, Beau! Got a bit of time on the tractor? Let's do some spraying, eh?
Get the job done now.
so I'm like twice your age.
Yeah, 42.
Slower. No, I'm 45. How many bones have you broken?
Oh, Steve, I couldn't even remember how many. Let's see, I've done both my collarbones 3 times, both my elbows, I've done my shin, I've done my thumb, I've done my ankle. Man, it's tough to think about on the spot, but yeah, there's a lot. Mind you, that's just bones, plus all the ligaments and stuff that goes with it.
I've never broken one thing. So it's safe for being a helicopter pilot, I think.
I'm jealous. From a young age, I was heading over, you know, overseas to do my skiing stuff and leaving my mum at home. And I knew that that was pretty tough on her. So just from your side of things, how do you find that leaving your family?
That's the worst bit.
Yeah.
No, once this vineyard's up and running, hopefully I can move away from the lifestyle. But yeah, no, it's not the fun part of it for sure.
Nah, yeah, I totally understand. Some things have got to be done though, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been really lucky actually to have a local white pearl winemaker help us make our wine. And he's been fantastic, really good mentor. We've sort of got a bit of a deal going where I work for him free labour, and in return for that we get to use their equipment and their expertise, which is fantastic.
When you first went in there, was it a little intimidating because, you know, you didn't have a lot of experience in the industry?
We're helicopter pilots, we're not winemakers, so I was just so stoked to have found somebody who's got the same ethos as us.
Is that an ethos that is in New Zealand winemaking? Is that the sort of things that are being taught to Ben, the common ethos?
There's definitely a few different ways of making wine, even in New Zealand. Obviously, the bigger wineries, the more commercial style, and then you've got the more handmade, hands-on style of wine, which is where we want to place ourselves.
Is there a speciality of winemaking that you're interested in?
I'd love to learn as much as I can from so many different people and learn kind of everything that's out there, and then take snippets of everything and put it all together and into what I want to produce and what I like.
You need to have less expensive wine on the market. And then there's a place for the handcrafted, organic, fully natural wines. And then there's a place for somewhere in between.
Yeah, all around the world is completely different as well.
You lads been enjoying playing around with a bit of old school technology there?
Oh yeah, learning heaps.
Wow, Sarah, you may have outshone the millennials a little bit. It's the meal to drink.
It wasn't hard, to be fair.
On the TV show, you might like to drink it.
Got that big nosy one on you. Hey, so if we were to put you in charge of this vineyard as the manager, what would you change?
I'm quite amazed what you've done and what you've achieved and how well it is going. So there's not anything like big that I'd change. I would definitely have to think about if there were little things, but it wouldn't be anything too big.
So Sarah and Steve, you talk about how Steve goes away a month at a time to bring in the income that helps you support trying to build up the vineyard. But it's not a low-risk venture, and there is actually a substantial chance that, you know, a completely unforeseeable weather event could mean no income for 1 year. That might happen 2-3 years in a row. How do you feel about that potentially happening?
To be honest, if the whole thing just went south, like as you say, the bottom fell out of the industry, then one of us could always go back to flying and it's a good income. So that could be the advantage of us coming into it later in life. Of course, there's also disadvantages that we don't have the experience in the industry that somebody else would have that's done it all their life. And that's why we've been very careful to make sure that we've used really good consultants who know what they're talking about and have that experience so that they can pass the knowledge on to us and we don't make mistakes that perhaps we would have done if we were setting up from scratch without one.
What I think is really cool is the ability in your lifetime to have more than one passion or career. And I think we've been pretty blessed with that, the ability to actually have a fantastic life flying in the military. Then we went to the Middle East and had a bit of an adventure there. We're now doing the wine thing. Don't think a lot of people necessarily get that opportunity, so we're making the most of it.
Have you thought about what you're going to do once your body gets too old and tired and broken to carry on with this amazing high-impact sport that you're doing?
That's the thing. In my sport, the oldest competitor is only late 20s. So it's a fairly short career. So when I did my knee last year, I started studying personal training. And as of just a couple of weeks ago, I'm now fully qualified. So I have a rough idea of what I want to do after skiing now, which is pretty cool.
So the reason why I thought it would be a really great idea to bring together Millennial and Generation X people who are like reaching for their dreams in the same sort of vocation is there's so much that I learned from people who are, you know, in their early 20s because they have such a different take on things. And so I just thought it was a great idea to try and link people up and create that network. What do you guys think?
We've used a lot of consultants to help us set things up, but I think it's very important to talk to people who are coming into the industry at the beginning where they're learning, like Ben, all of these new ways to do things and new technologies and ways to make things better.
Yeah, I do think this is an amazing idea, and I will definitely keep in contact with these guys in the future.
You've got to wait.
I've got to get Beau-James to an aeroplane to go and find some snow and then go and win some competitions for New Zealand. So we're going to leave you to it and save us a bottle.
Thanks, guys. I learned so much, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Hey, Beau-James, thanks for coming and helping me out today. I think I've even picked up some Millennial from you.
No problems. Thank you for having me. I've had an amazing day.
Yeah, it's been epic.
You got it.